This is a friendly reminder that the views and opinions expressed by all on-air personalities do not reflect those of WMSC, Montclair State University, or any of their affiliates.
90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair.
Good morning, everyone. You are listening to The Morning Buzz right here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan Kaplan. Welcome to the show. It is currently 9:02 a.m. on this Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. And I'm not alone. Who am I joined by this morning?
I'm your other host, Pedro Chaplain Baez, and in today's show, we will be discussing the FIFA World Cup, Rush Hour, NJ Transit, Jersey Shore, and the culture shock from Europeans. But before we get into our top stories for the day, here's Mackenzie Cochran for your WMSC news update.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Always a pleasure for that introduction. Good morning. I'm Mackenzie Cochran, and this is WMSC News. For our top story, Donald Trump will be attending the FIFA World Cup final at New York, New Jersey Stadium on July 19th. FIFA has reportedly allowed Trump to hand the World Cup trophy to the winning team. Trump has presented a football trophy in the past before with last summer's Club World Cup final trophy presentation with Chelsea. In Montclair news, a new cafe called Toastique is opening this Saturday. Toastique is known for its gourmet toasts, cold-pressed juices, smoothie bowls, and coffee with over 50 locations nationwide. Toastique will open up on June 20th at 25 Church Street. In New Jersey news, a black bear that prompted a shelter in place at some Lyndhurst schools was captured by police and wildlife officials on Tuesday. Officers were dispatched to Webster Avenue at about 12:50 p.m. following reports of a black bear seen roaming between yards on Webster and Jay Avenues. Officers isolated and contained the bear while placing local daycare facilities and schools in a shelter in place and advising residents to bring their animals inside out of an abundance of caution, Deputy Chief Paul Haggerty said in a statement. Wildlife specialists evaluated and tagged the animal at the scene. They plan to bring the bear to Sussex County and release it safely in a wooded area. In the national news, the Trump administration appealed a federal judge's order requiring the National Park Service, NPS, to restore historical signs, exhibits, and materials that have been removed from national parks and historic sites. The administration is seeking to halt the restoration before America's 250th celebration on July 4th. The removed materials included exhibits and signs addressing climate change, Native American history, slavery, immigration, labor movements, women's suffrage, civil rights, and other topics. Examples include climate change displays at Glacier and Acadia National Parks and a slavery exhibit at Philadelphia's President's House Memorial. The administration says the removal aligns with President Trump's executive order restoring truth and sanity to American history, which seeks to eliminate what it describes as divisive or race-centered interpretations of American history from federally managed cultural institutions. Preservation and conservation groups have challenged the policy in court, arguing that national parks should present a complete account of United States history. For our sports scores, we have championship winners and parade announcements. After winning the NBA championship, the New York Knicks will host their parade tomorrow in Lower Manhattan at 10 o'clock a.m. It will begin near Battery Park and travel north along Broadway, ending at City Hall. Immediately following the parade, Mayor Madani will host a championship ceremony and present the key to the city at City Hall Plaza, expected to start around 11:30 a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. And the Carolina Hurricanes won this year's NHL Stanley Cup. They will host their parade on Saturday, June 20th in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina at 11 o'clock a.m. Heading into the traffic, there is construction on I-80 eastbound in the vicinity of exit 52 CR 613 Passaic Avenue in Fairfield Township. The right shoulder is closed until 3 o'clock p.m. And finally, moving on to the weather. It is currently 67 degrees and mostly sunny. Rainy conditions are expected around 3 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 7 miles per hour. The high for today is 77 degrees, and the low for today is 59 degrees. This has been your WMSC News Report.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie. And we're going to move on to our first story for this morning. Yesterday was the World Cup, or one of many World Cup matches at MetLife Stadium. And the timing wasn't great though, because it caused a particularly busy commute home on many North Jersey roads, because the end of that match actually coincided with regular rush hour traffic. And not fun. So officials did warn people traveling in the area to um plan ahead for possible delays. Over in New York City, there was a gridlock alert day issued. Many streets, especially around Penn Station, New York, they were closed until around 8 p.m. And, if you were planning on taking mass transit, you probably know that NJ Transit with access to Penn Station was restricted to only World Cup travelers. People who were traveling elsewhere in the system were asked to take PATH to either Hoboken or Newark Penn, and then go from there to wherever their destinations may be. So I am hoping that none of you were in any way traveling in the area. But if you were, how was it? Was it bad? Was it not as bad as you anticipated? How was the traffic? Mackenzie, you're smiling. Were you working yesterday?
Yes, I was. I'll explain that. So, luckily for me, since I work it, I actually get off 2 hours post match. So, people were leaving around like 5 o'clock p.m. I was leaving at 7. So, we actually didn't have traffic when I was leaving. The last match that I worked, I got out at 10. That was a later match. It was like a 6 o'clock match. That was Brazil versus Morocco.
Mm.
That had traffic leaving MetLife. I guess fans were kind of staying a little bit later for that match.
Mhm.
It seems to be like the Brazilians are really big like football fans. So like they were staying long. That game was walking out to go to American Dream Mall or like that because I left later. But typically like right after the match, there's so much traffic. And I always see some fans like leave the match early to like avoid the traffic. But
Mm.
New York, New Jersey Stadium is huge. And there's so many people, so many seats that there's going to be traffic no matter what. And I know with the World Cup, they really want people taking NJ Transit. They're really having a lot of fans have their ticket from MetLife to Secaucus. And then if you're a volunteer, they actually give volunteers wristbands. So they actually get a free ride from MetLife to Secaucus, which is really, really nice. Now, I'm not a volunteer. I'm actually an intern. So that doesn't apply for me, though. But for the volunteers, that's a nice thing they're doing.
So wait, just the portion between New York and Secaucus? Or
Yeah, so
does that not include the portion between Secaucus and MetLife, or I'm sorry, New York, New Jersey Stadium?
Yeah, so the stadium, they always send, it's either you take people to Secaucus or New York Penn.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the main two hubs nearby the stadium. And then from there, like that has the most like traffic. And I would assume like once you get out of Secaucus in New York Penn, let's say you like head out, you stop at Newark Penn or any other train station, there's no traffic. And the expensive train tickets, like the $90 train tickets, are only for going to MetLife
Yeah,
and back. I
I
got
think
confused at first.
yeah. I think there was a lot
Yeah,
of confusion that
I
people
know.
heard very expensive train tickets and assumed that that would impact their commute. That's not the thing that's
Yes.
impacting their commute.
Mm-hmm.
It's more or less obviously stuff is impacting commutes as obviously we talked about they're closing off Penn Station for a few hours before and a few hours after each match, but um the cost at least is not an impact to everyday travelers uh
Yes.
And so,
who commute.
Mackenzie, were you able to take
Yeah.
NJ Transit?
Yes, I was.
How
So,
crowded was that, and what was the experience like?
okay, so it honestly wasn't crowded for me. I think it's because I leave 2 hours post match.
Mm.
So I went to Secaucus after. Well, actually, no, I went to Secaucus for both matches. But for the Brazil versus Morocco, I went straight to Secaucus from New York, New Jersey Stadium. And they had a whole blocked off section to go into the stadium. Typically, they don't block out that like section. It's like to the Meadowlands, but they did for that, and they just had some more like security, some more policemen, but it wasn't really packed at all, which is really really nice. I was able to get on the train because I'm staying in Fanwood right now at my good friend's house, so I'm basically
Mhm.
just like taking the train from Secaucus to Fanwood. So I was fine with that. And then for the rest of the matches, I'm gonna be having my friend carpool me to Passaic. And then when I went to Passaic yesterday, Passaic is like far-ish from New York, New Jersey Stadium, so there's also no traffic. And then from there, when you go to Passaic, you got to go back to Secaucus because it's a
Mhm.
connecting train. But
Yeah.
really, by the time I'm at Secaucus, it's like 3 hours post match, so there's really no traffic. So I got lucky that since I'm working it, I have to stay back some hours and avoid the mess. But for fans, yeah, they need to watch out.
Yeah, certainly. Jordan, Pedro, were either of you stuck in traffic, even if you weren't going to the match? Were you just traveling near MetLife Stadium, near the Meadowlands?
Now, for me, I wasn't traveling I wasn't in North Jersey during the World Cup, but I saw a lot of pictures from those who are near the area of cars getting caught on fire or just major accidents.
Wow.
So, not too surprising because we get those regularly.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you turn on the morning news any weekday morning, and it's like, there's a crash here, there's a car fire here, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's always like that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I wasn't able to go, but I did see like people like posting about it as well. It was pretty funny. So yeah.
Um, yeah, so certainly we're not looking forward to the traffic up here, especially up here because we're here in Montclair, we're so close, right? It's just a short drive down Route 3. Uh, yes, I'm getting my roads correct. Route 3. Um, so that
Oh, Mackenzie, did you hear any feedback from any Europeans or any foreigners?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm around the area of the Europeans. They're having a blast. They're really loving the US. They're having a really great time, and they're so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Europeans, they always like compliment. It's so different from Americans. I feel like us Americans, like we're more like mean. The Europeans are having a really fun time, and I've been just seeing memes. I've been seeing a lot of memes about the Scots in Boston right now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen those? They're
They got
funny.
their They also got I saw a video of a group of them walking around with their Dunkin' coffee. I just
Yes,
thought,
I saw that too.
mm-hmm,
It's so funny. But at the matches for yesterday, it was France versus
mm-hmm,
Senegal. I was up with the commentary because I'm like helping out like the commentators and the broadcasters and the Europeans and like all like the fans that are like internationals. They were doing like a whole stadium wave twice. That was really cool. And then like they were saying "Ole, ole." I was like, oh,
mm-hmm,
it's so fun because like in America like we don't do that.
mm-mm.
So having them here, you can really feel like the passion they have. They're having a blast. So honestly, I haven't really heard any complaints from them. I guess if they were to complain, it's their team losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm. Well,
Both games were actually really intense. I wasn't able to
Yes.
watch the France versus who was it? Senegal?
Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch that, but I was able to watch Brazil versus Morocco.
that was a good one.
That was a really good game.
I like that one a lot. The France one yesterday was really good because
Hmm
Mbappe got 2 more goals, and then he's 2 away from tying the record for most goals in the final. No, like the whole like World Cup. But then Messi just scored a goal, so now he's tied for the most. So it's like a little race between them.
3
Crazy.
goals last night. Yes.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
insane. 3-0.
yeah.
That was a good game. Were you able to watch that one too?
I was only able to watch the ones that I worked so far. And then
Oh, okay.
sometimes when I'm at work, we have the other matches on the TV, which is
hmm
cool. So then like we have this like home space, and once we're in there, we can like watch it. But mainly like I'm like running around the stadium and like helping out the broadcasters. It's really cool because I help
hmm
out like there's so many broadcasters they bring in from like all over. So it's cool because like Italy didn't make World Cup, but they have broadcasters from Italy come because it's such a big event that people
hmm
from all over the world are still watching. So it's really cool getting to meet new people and see different cultures. It's cool.
Yeah, of course.
mhm. um, but I think with that, uh, we have another World Cup related story, Pedro.
Yes, so NJ Transit gets high marks for World Cup transportation to New York, New Jersey Stadium. On June 13th, MetLife Stadium had its first match of the FIFA World Cup for the Brazil-Morocco match. State officials again urged fans to use NJ Transit with the round trip ticket to the stadium being $98. Mikey Sherrill stated, "This is the easiest, fastest way to commute. It's a really great time. The transportation plan was seen to be a success, with NJ Transit moving more than 21,000 fans by rail and by bus in 90 minutes. However, those who didn't take NJ Transit and instead took the rideshare route had a rough time, leaving fans stranded at the stadium, and traffic led to a bumper-to-bumper nightmare." Yeah, it's almost as if of people avoided NJ Transit just to boycott or because they were afraid it was going to be horrible and then took the rideshare option and then it was horrible. Fan Alexandra Tarabor of Balmar said. So you spoke earlier about Mackenzie that a lot of fans stayed after the match, like way
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
So were you able to at least see that traffic afterwards?
I definitely saw the rush of fans like leaving the stadium,
hmm
and a lot of them were having traffic heading to the American Dream Mall. Someone on Instagram made a comment saying that the rush of traffic to the American Dream Mall was honestly the worse than just leaving the stadium, which I can kind of agree with.
hmm
Now, honestly, NJ Transit's actually doing a pretty good job. We were all scared beforehand that it was going to be really, really bad. But honestly, like, they've been doing a really good job. I think that was my biggest surprise how
hmm
well NJ Transit's been doing with this, which is really exciting.
The
I know
pessim
personally, like, yeah,
Sorry, the pessimist in me is thinking, yeah, it ran smoothly the first few games, and then uh before the last one, there's still a chance something will happen that will melt down the entire system, and it'll be an empty stadium. I hope that doesn't happen, but
hmm
that's the pessimist in me who, knows NJ Transit. Um, and I guess also Amtrak in that, like, the area between Newark and New York is service suspend. I shouldn't joke about service as far as I'm concerned is not suspended, and I should probably double check that now that I've made a joke about that, but
Yeah, I
I
saw.
don't want to spread misinformation. Um,
Yeah, I saw
yeah, everything's good. So
Governor Mikey Sherrill at one of the trains for the World Cup, and she was having a great time with all the fans. And then, were you able to also see her at the stadium, Mackenzie?
So I didn't get to see Mike Sherrill at the stadium. There are so many people. It's just a madhouse in there. It's crazy. But
Mhm.
it's funny because I take the train in to Secaucus every day for either
Mhm.
work or to get to the stadium. So Mikey Sherrill, I hear her all the time. Jonathan, I don't know if you heard her yet, but like you go to Secaucus and she's like, "This is Governor Mikey Sherrill. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for taking NJ Transit." She has her own little
I
like
did not hear that. Is
tweet.
that World Cup specific or is it just at any time?
It's any time from now till July 19th. So when you are in Secaucus, you probably will hear
All
it.
right. Well, I have a long transfer later, so I might hear her then. Um,
Nice.
so, um,
But yeah, no, they're doing really well. I hear
Yeah, they are.
transportation is coming every 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes, correct.
okay. And no major delays or cancellations.
No, because it's nice because they're typically those trains you'd think would impact other trains. I haven't
Mhm.
had a delay or cancellation yet.
That's good. And you haven't
Yeah,
heard of any. That's good.
correct.
Because
Yeah.
as many of us know, we always get delays or
Uh-huh.
cancellations. So that's why everyone is surprised by this fact.
Your
Mhm.
train is
Yeah.
is canceled. Please take the next one. I'm sure we've all seen that message if we've ever used
Oh
NJ
yeah.
Transit. I'm like, oh great, okay. Well, I'll be a little late or a lot late, depending on how close the trains are.
Uh, Jordan, what's your take on this, on NJ Transit?
Um, well, I think that I was actually surprised that it was like the transportation plan was a success. Because I kind of expected, because I know I also take the train, so I kind of know that there can be delays or cancellations sometimes. So I'm really glad that it worked out, especially during for the World Cup for this, big event. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That
Uh,
that's really good. Now that's very unfortunate for those who decided not to take NJ Transit
mm-hmm.
and decided to ride share.
Yeah.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, rideshare. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the stadium, but the Uber rideshare is actually at the racetrack. So,
Oh,
fans
isn't that like far?
have
I'm
a
sorry.
long walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that like a long walk? Because I think I've looked at a map at least
Yes.
of like the stadium area, like the parking lot.
Yes, it's a
Isn't
long walk.
that's like, oh dear. Do you know how
Yes.
long in like minutes
Okay,
that
so
is?
I walked it. I would say I'm a pretty fast walker. So I got there like 15 minutes, which isn't bad. But like
Okay.
if you walk slower, it's usually
Yeah,
like
no.
a 15 to 30-minute walk
Yeesh.
or like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a long walk. And Ubers, I looked at the Uber price after Brazil, Morocco. It was $110.
Oh wow. And
Yeah.
there's not even like if you ever go to a theme park, they'll have like parking trams that take you to where you actually want to go. There was none of that, right? Like they're
No,
just making people walk through
yeah.
a large parking lot.
It's
That's
so crazy. You know what's even more crazier? The $110 Uber was just from New York, New Jersey Stadium to Secaucus train station.
oh
That's a
dear.
10-minute ride. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh
that $98 train ticket,
that's more than the train ticket.
that 98 train dollar train ticket's even better.
If you want to.
Yeah, thank you to all those who helped bring that price down from 150.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, it's yeah. Anything else before I take it to break?
Yeah, so it was definitely not worth, not buying a ticket to NJ Transit,
Mm-hmm.
ride share. Hopefully, many people kind of learn from these experiences. We still have a few games here.
I'm gonna argue, not argue, but I'm gonna disagree a little bit because yesterday, as I mentioned again, it was rush hour,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Okay, so this day it was bad on the roads and good on the train. Now it could hopefully it stays good on the train. We really want it to stay good on the train. Um, but I would just caution, like, I think that was probably the busiest day of the World Cup because, um, in addition to the match traffic, you had rush hour traffic, uh, and so, I'm not saying like the, I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just like, maybe some days are going to be better than others on certain modes. You can't really know for sure, right? That's all I have.
Yeah, and with the final being hosted by New York, New Jersey Stadium, we'll see how,
We'll
you
see how that
we'll
goes. Oh
see how that
dear.
goes.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we are going to take a quick little break. And when we come back, we will be discussing a Jersey Shore ferry that got blocked and as well European culture shock. As of course the World Cup is a lot of World Cup today, folks. Um, but we'll be right back. Let's listen. This is one of my favorites. Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley coming up shortly.
Hello, this is Billie Eilish. Hey y'all, this is Morgan. Hi, I'm Ed Sheeran. What's up, everybody? You know who it is. It's Big Time Rush. Hey, I'm Slash.
It's not Cinema Sunrise. It's not Movies Till Midnight. The long-running movie news show is now Movies Till Midday. Join us every Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. with Danny Krasik and Ella Duffy for the latest movie news, games, and interviews. Only on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Good morning. My name is Mackenzie Cochran, and this is your regular traffic and weather update. Heading into the traffic, there's construction on New Jersey 21 northbound between south of Exit 7, Main Street in Belleville Township, and Northern Avenue and Passaic. Right shoulder is closed until 12 o'clock p.m. Moving on to the weather, it is currently 70 degrees and partly cloudy. Rainy conditions are expected around 3 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 9 miles per hour. The high for today is still 77 degrees, and the low for today is 59 degrees. This has been your WMSC traffic and weather update.
Hello, everybody. We're Montclair State Music Club.
We do general music appreciation, such as album listen-alongs, album and artist analyses, to even our more specialized events, such as jam sessions, burning CDs, and band teas and boba.
For general body meetings, we meet on Wednesdays from 2 to 3:30.
To find more information on meetings, check Engage or
Look for our Instagram at MSU_Music Club. Reach out to us there or email msmc@sjmsu.org.
where words fail, music speaks. Hope to see you there.
Welcome back to the Morning Buzz right here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I'm your host, Jonathan Kaplan. Welcome back. It is 9:35. Let's move on to our next story. A planned ferry between Manhattan and Point Pleasant Beach has been blocked by the Point Pleasant Beach Town Council. The service would have only run on weekends and was actually set to begin this Friday. However, town leadership said that they were not properly notified about the plan ahead of time. The service, by the way, would have been operated by Sea Streak. So, this sounds like it would have been nice, especially from people who are traveling from New York to get like a nice ride on a scenic ferry and not have to worry about the transfer at Long Branch on the train, because this would have been a direct route, but unfortunately it looks like the town council wasn't happy about the thought of a direct ferry between Manhattan and Point Pleasant Beach. So, thoughts? Is this something you guys would take if maybe hypothetically if you lived in Manhattan?
Yeah, I would definitely take this. This is very unfortunate that this isn't happening this weekend because, Point Pleasant Beach is such a beautiful beach in town.
Mm-hmm.
So, hopefully, this is something that they hope to do in the future with,
Yeah.
It
some notice.
sounds like they still want to be able to do it.
Mhm.
I don't know for certain if they're deciding, oh, no more, or oh, we have a little bit more paperwork. It sounds like, based on the article I read, that it's just gonna be delayed, but I don't think they said that specifically. But that's my interpretation of the article personally.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because it would have been perfect for the next parade.
Yes. Although, well, that's on a Thursday. This would have been a weekend
Oh,
only.
never mind. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If it ran on weekdays, it would be great.
Yeah, that is true.
But
Mhm.
I think the purpose of this is more of like a touristy thing than a commuter type of thing, because
Yeah, that makes sense.
a bit thoughts, sorry. Because if you're running a service only on weekends to a shore town,
Mhm.
and presumably this would be like a summer specific thing, this sorry, thoughts. I'm trying to get my thoughts together and speak at the same time. Anyway, Yeah, it basically seems like it's targeting people going from New York to Point Pleasant Beach as opposed to the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Though certainly
Yeah.
it could be used for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jordan? What do you think? What's your take?
I do think that it's unfortunate that that the service or the ferry was blocked. I've never been on the ferry, so I can't relate to it, but I do know um a lot of people do travel, so it's unfortunate that like that happened.
I've taken the Cape May Lewis ferry from Cape May to Lewis, Delaware.
How was that?
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. It was very scenic. Scenic as in water. And I guess the dock, but it was still nice.
Did you had a good experience then?
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's cool.
How long was that commute?
Um, it's funny that you call it a commute because it was just like a one-time thing. But it was I forget exactly how long, but it was probably like an hour something, I would say. I might be wrong on that.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And it's also one of the ferries that like
Not bad.
you can bring your car on if you choose to do so. So like that was the thing is we were going to Virginia Beach and I guess my family decided we don't want to deal with the turnpike or
Traffic.
the traffic and it's also like you have to go around and it's might have been longer so we just decided we'll go down to Cape May and take the ferry and then we'll be on our merry way. So uh don't know if this would have been like that. Yeah, I can't say for certain um on vehicles specifically, but um yeah, this seems like it would have been a nice something nice for people in New York to do on the weekend, but
Yeah.
you know.
According to your sources, you said that you interpreted it as a delay.
Yeah, do you want to read that? It was from News 12 New Jersey. Do you want to read that?
Yeah, I'm just curious if they're planning on doing this, anytime soon.
I have no clue. I feel like that's something between C Streak and Point Pleasant Beach government for them to talk about. Because it sounds like the issue was like, hey, we're gonna get like a bunch of tourists flooding into our city. We weren't given proper permits or whatever, proper warning about that.
Yeah.
And so um I think it makes sense that like, oh, um, we'd rather have had communication rather than just like
Mm-hmm.
show up and now there's a bunch of New Yorkers at Point Pleasant Beach.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see it as a delay too, because it just says that it won't be happening this weekend.
Yeah.
It doesn't say about future.
So
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is true.
so Jordan, do you have any thoughts?
Um, no, I definitely agree with what you said. So I do hope to go on a ferry sometime because I heard it's a really nice experience. So yeah, I hope that I'll get the opportunity to do that soon.
Yeah. Well, we hope that you get that opportunity as well. But let's move on to our next story, Pedro.
Yes. So European World Cup fans are losing their minds over Taco Bell, Ranch, Costco, and unlimited refills. As thousands of international fans travel across the United States for the FIFA World Cup, many are discovering American culture one stop at a time. Taco Bell became a major attraction for European soccer fans, praising the Crunchwrap Supreme and Baja Blast. Ranch dressing shocked and delighted tourists with social media posts joking that Europe urgently needs ranch after fans tried it for the first time. And Costco left European visitors amazed as its low prices, giant portions, inventory, and air condition made a great impression for its value for the money experience. And unlimited soda refills became one of the biggest culture shocks, with European visitors posting videos expressing disbelief that restaurants allow customers to refill drinks at no extra charge. So, what do you guys think?
I'm gonna add on to that because I heard don't know if it was European specifically. It might have, I think it was like someone from Japan was like saw like a yellow school bus and was like, "Oh, that's the school bus from the movies." I'm seeing like
No
for
way.
realsies in person. I guess that's like a very American thing that we take for granted, right?
Yeah, I saw another source where they were in disbelief. They didn't think it was real, these yellow school buses.
Mm.
And I'm not too surprised because as for them, I was in Europe for 4 months, so there were no yellow school buses for them either, and many use bikes, public
Yeah,
transportation, or
Mhm.
they're able to walk, or private coaches. So everything in Europe is for the most part walkable.
Mhm.
But over here you definitely need some transportation such as yellow school buses.
Mhm.
And what I'm not surprised is Taco Bell, because it was one of the things that I missed the most when I was there was
Mm.
Crunchwrap Supreme and especially Baja Blast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Mackenzie? Because you were gone for a bit too. What
Yes.
what do you think? Are you surprised by any
It's
of these?
so cool. Honestly, I'm surprised that okay, I know they're gonna want to try fast food, which makes sense. I
Hmm.
just think it's funny how they're like glorifying ranch. I didn't know ranch was an American thing. I thought ranch was all
Yeah,
over.
I was surprised by that too. That's you learn something new every day. That like something you take for granted is actually very much like an American thing for some reason.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
weird. Weird
but
to
it's
me.
so
Maybe
cool
not.
seeing everything.
I'm sorry. Oh no.
It's so cool seeing everything, like
Hmm.
Yeah.
all over social media, and then like all the cultures are combining. Like we have like people doing Gangnam Style from like Korea and Mexico, which is really
Mhm.
cool. And you have all the Scots right now in Boston. They went to a game at Fenway Park and they were like doing like chants. At
Mhm.
the first game, Brazil Morocco, fans were singing "Freed from Desire." I guess that's like their song. So like there's a lot of like cheers and more like music and stuff
Hmm.
that typical Americans we don't do. So it's been really, really fun seeing everything. And I like how they're embracing the American culture, which is really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
I also saw something where like Japanese fans, again, Japan, they were like cleaning up the stadium after the game, which
Yeah.
is you know, unheard of here in the United States that like fans would clean up um to the point where not just in sports stadiums but like anywhere that has custodial staff, right? uh Unfortunately here it gets to the point where um I'm thinking of like the Minecraft movie stuff. If you guys remember that, people were throwing popcorn and soda at the
Mhm.
screen. That's like, I mean, that's like a very extreme example, but like that's something where there was an argument over like it's the custodial's job, or no, you shouldn't really make that big of a mess. To be clear, yeah, please do not make a huge mess in public and make someone else's job a nightmare. Um, I just want to make sure I'm clear on that, but you know.
One thing that was very highlighted was the way South Korea left their locker room as well. nice and clean and neat.
Oh, like they were like grooming or
No, no, like
not
they
groom,
left the locker room nice and clean.
like showered.
No, no, like they just like made sure
Oh,
everything's in a
you
mess.
left like cleaned up the room.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like they looked put together.
Oh, no, 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 no.
That's why
I mean, they do, they do.
they do,
No.
but like, whoops, different kind of left the room. Not a bad one, but yeah,
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 and something that I did, overlook was the unlimited soda refills.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that's something that I didn't realize until reading the story, that even when I was in Europe, I didn't use I didn't need a refill, so it didn't
Mm.
really, affect me in that way. But
Even though like, another culture shock thing is like, aren't like portion sizes usually smaller in Europe? It's probably for the better for soda and a bunch of things that have larger portion sizes over here because yeah.
Mhm.
Um
And Costco, I saw a video of a European being amazed by Costco, and that just, you know, took me out of the world, because the way that I didn't, because I grew up around stores that with that size.
yeah.
It made me realize that there were not that many stores that big in Europe.
Yeah.
Even Walmart, that's still
Walmart. Yeah.
it's still pretty big.
Yeah, it's yeah, it seems always fun to see when cultures mix and uh
Mhm.
everyone's bewildered by something that other people just take for granted. Like
Mhm.
um
But I'm glad to see many Europeans are enjoying their time here in America.
mhm.
What about you, Jordan? What's your take?
Um, I don't find it a surprise that people were, well, especially, Europeans, they were losing their minds over Taco Bell, especially with the Crunchwrap Supreme. That's like my go-to if I'm ordering from Taco Bell.
Mhm.
Either that or the Lux Box. But I'm glad that they're able to experience the American culture there, and that they're genuinely enjoying themselves, it would seem.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing is the air condition.
Air conditioning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a big one.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, let's move on now to Jordan. You have a segment for us?
Yes, so welcome to the Reddit rabbit hole, everybody. Today, I have a little bit of a scary story. It's a little bit more tame, but I do think that it teaches a good lesson about the internet. And the title of it is called "A Dating App Matched Me with a Missing Person."
I'm sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you for a second.
Yes,
Just by the title, this sounds wild, so I'm looking forward to this.
yes. So I'll start now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Um, I had a pretty devastating breakup a while back. It's not something I really want to brag on, but I will say it led me down to a pretty dark road in the year that followed. I just stopped caring. It was my first time in 4 years that I had to live with being alone, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. I think by the end of my 12-month descent into despair, I had put on about 55 pounds and picked up a pretty nasty drinking habit. After overstaying my welcome at my own pity party, I had to have a long conversation with myself. The pain was still in my mind, but I knew I couldn't just rot away for the rest of my life. I had to pick myself up and move on. So, with a heavy heart, that's exactly what I did. I stopped drinking and started to go to the gym again. Although I will admit it took me a good while to get back into the swing of things. Against the odds, I muscled through. I found solace in my own mind, and I started saving money, shredding weight, and taking care of myself. By the end of the year, I had returned to form. The pain didn't exist unless I thought about it. After spending some time loving myself and only myself, I was amused by my own, ambushed by my own biology. I craved connection. I was so focused on finding myself again that I think my brain just blocked out loneliness until my mission was complete. And once it was, the feeling kept me up on me again. I knew I couldn't try my ex-girlfriend again. That ship had long sailed. I wanted something new. Not even just new, I wanted love. Besides, in today's society, you don't even have to approach people physically. You just throw your best photos up on a profile and wait to see who finds you desirable. If I'm being honest, that reason alone was the only thing that made me feel comfortable enough to create an account. I think I got a little slap happy with apps that I was downloading: Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, etc. You name it, I was on it. Even some obscure ones that I don't think anyone knows about. As a matter of fact, it was actually on one of those obscure ones that I found her. I had minimal luck with the big dating apps, maybe 3 swipes on Tinder, 1 or 2 on Hinge and Bumble. She was the only account I liked back, and I could feel my pulse rushing faster and faster as I waited anxiously for a reply. An hour went by, then 2, then 3. And that's when I decided to take the risk and text first. Within seconds, a response came through. Her name was Emily, and she asked me to tell her about myself, leading to the two of us spending the next hours chatting back and forth. She told me how much she loved art and how her favorite pastime was mountain biking and how much she loved watching Friends and Bel Air. The more she revealed, the more I couldn't help but notice the similarities between her and my ex-girlfriend. Not only that, but she kind of resembled my ex too. The same brown hair, they both wore glasses, and similar figures. I would say Emily definitely seemed a little more artsy than my ex-girlfriend. All of the photos on her account looked like 90s-esque Polaroids taken for the aesthetics. I liked it a lot. I thought it was such a cool vibe and paired with her bubbly personality. I could already feel myself falling for her. Finally, she did respond. Not right now. Let's keep talking here, though. I really like you, and I just want to be sure. That message warmed my heart a little, and I feel like we were in the same boat emotionally. I respected her wishes, but I started noticing something weird about her message in the days that followed. She just seemed to automatically agree with everything I said. Normally, I wouldn't think any of it, but it was just happening so much that I was starting to see how it was starting to make me suspicious. I started sending messages that were weirdly personal, and she just to see how she would respond. I started looking through her profile again after these messages. Every photo looked authentic, not too polished, not too meshy. I was beginning to second guess myself. Maybe it was me who was crazy looking this far into the first woman who I've been romantically interested in for 2 years. I figured I'd ask for her number again, this time in a more straightforward manner. The text bubbles popped up before disappearing, and they came back again. This time they delivered a response. He's basically saying that she wants to keep on talking on the app. I decided in that moment that I was going to unmatch her once and for all. I won't lie, the thought was heart-wrenching, and I had actually learned to really like this girl over the course of that week. To think it was all a scam hurt me more than I cared to admit. I clicked on her profile one more time, glancing at her photos. Before I could bring myself to unlike the account, I did something that made sense to me at the time. Maybe it was something out of desperation, maybe I wanted closer. All I know was that I could think what I could think to do. I screenshotted one of her photos and reverse searched the image. I didn't know what I was expecting, but it was certainly not a missing person article dating back to 1997. At first, I thought I was mistaken. It had to be a different Emily. But I saw her, same face and same style. It was her. I left the page in a state of panic after screenshotting the article. I opened the dating app again. It was still on Emily's page, and for the first time, I noticed a badge hidden at the very bottom. I emailed or texted Emily about this, and her response was immediate. It didn't read like her previous messages. It was too robotic, too corporate. As a matter of fact, I don't think it was her at all. And they just say like a very long message, so I'll just skip. Long story short, I decided to cut my losses and I deleted the app and tried to move on. I found a new girlfriend and we ended up in a lovely and fortunate relationship. And I had pushed the addiction to the further steps of my mind. And the guy just says, make sure to be careful on the internet because you never know who someone's true face.
Wow.
in that scene.
Not exactly how I thought it would go. I thought it would be more wholesome. I don't know why I thought it would be more wholesome. Uh, but it is what it is. Thank you, for that. Yeah.
Yeah, this was an interesting story.
Um,
Jordan, why'd
Yeah.
you
I
pick this
wonder.
one? Like, what stood out to you when you choose your when choosing this one for your Reddit?
Well, to me, I think it kind of connects back to the previous story that I did with, it just shows how AI has, well, I don't think this was a real person. Obviously, it wasn't a real person, but it's
Mhm.
showing how, technology has developed so much to where people, like create fake profiles, and it's just another like case of just, staying safe online.
Yeah.
So,
I,
yeah,
I
that's
was
what made me choose it.
I was gonna say it feels like the person was probably an AI, especially with the person agreeing,
Mm-hmm.
uh person quote unquote agreeing with everything that they were saying, which is very much something that ChatGPT will do
Yeah,
for the worst takes
yeah.
ever. I'll be like, you're so right. But with that being said, it is now 10 o'clock here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Thank you for tuning in to the Morning Buzz. Uh, Tomorrow is Thursday. You'll have the Thursday crew tomorrow. But the Morning Buzz airs Monday through Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. during the summer. And uh, the Wednesday crew obviously will be back next week. You can listen obviously on iHeartRadio, watch on YouTube. Uh, you can even listen traditionally on 90.3 FM in the Montclair area. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week for Wednesday Buzz. Bye.
We're in the midst of catching the Wild Red Hawk rocket.